Hi everyone, it's Helen here from Bodywork-Pilates and welcome to September's Strong in 6, or 7 if I talk too much. So this is going to be a series of videos throughout September that you can dip in and out of to do as often as you possibly can in order to build some strength and some support over the month. Hopefully you'll end up stronger at the end of the month than you did at the beginning. It's going to be predominantly Pilates based, but we may throw a little bit of fitness aspect into it as well. Try and do it as often as you can. Every day would be amazing, but 5 out of 7 days at the least, so that you do see some results. If you need to modify anything, then that's absolutely fine. I'll try and put those in as much as I possibly can, as I think you may need them. But do the bits you can. Think about your posture, think about the way that you approach your activities. Remember, I say this every single time, quality trumps quantity every single time. So the quality of your movements far outweighs the number of repetitions that you do. So we'll get started. We're going to start with some Pilates squats, some Pilates lunges, and we'll be doing table. So they're the first 3 exercises in September's Strong in 6. Bring yourselves into your Pilates stance, feet about hip distance apart. Think about lengthening the spine by lifting the pubic bone slightly and just feeling those hip bones face forward. We're balanced through the centre of the feet, ribs are in, chin is slightly drawn back, hands rest. Feel that you're pressing firmly away in order to rise and lengthen. So keeping that slight tension, that slight corset around the centre of the body, we start by simply hinging at the hips, keeping the same line through the front and the back edge of the body. What you don't want to do is round. So a little hinge from the hips, and then from here, with knees tracking toes, as if you were going to pick up a box from the floor and then stand up again. So it's a little hinge and then bend, keeping that chest lifted. Try not to drop your chest heavily down. So you're staying in a slight incline through the spine. Those abdominals continue to stay slightly tightened. Squeeze your bottom a little at the top of the movement, so that you get this feeling of working into those glutes. And again, keep the weight evenly placed into the whole of the foot. There's weight beneath the ball of the big toe, there's weight beneath the ball of the little toe, there's even weight into the centre of the heel. And every time we bend those knees track second and third toes. We breathe in as we bend, we breathe out as we squeeze up. 2 more. Maintain that length to the back of the neck and stand. Okay, taking your right foot forward of your left. Now as you take your foot forward, you don't have to have your feet behind each other. This isn't tandem stance, so stay in your hip distance apart. And then from here, just take the step as if you were going to just take a step. So if you're walking down the road and you were to, that's the sort of the stance you want to take. Okay? So we take that, the back heel lifts. Now we do that little squat that we did. So we keep the spine long, we hinge a little from the hips, we bend and we stand. So we've got that incline, and now what you should find is now you'll feel the effort predominantly in this front leg. Little bit of balance as well. If you don't go all the way down to the floor, that doesn't matter. Just go as low as you can, but don't try to complete the move. So don't get so far and then complete the move by rounding. So keep that length in the spine, down and up, down and up. Again, watch the tracking of that front knee. Let's just do 2 more. And then step back and change sides. Simply step forward as if you're going to take an ordinary step. The back heel is lifting, spine stays long, we hinge a little from the hip, and then we bend and we lift. So I don't go quite so easily down on this side because my right knee is my replaced knee, and it doesn't bend quite so smoothly, so easily. It's great, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't quite drop as deeply. And that's okay. So again, I, like a lot of you, will have to modify some of my movements. So again, we just keep that emphasis into that forward leg. So as you stand up, you should feel that glute on that forward leg really having to work quite hard. Abdominals are still drawn in. Let's just do 3 more here. And then shake it out. Okay, and bringing it down carefully to your mat. So bringing yourself down onto your hands and knees. Hands are below the shoulders, knees are below the hips. Keep the balance of weight to the instep of the thumb and the first finger. Don't let yourself roll onto the outside edges of the wrists. Shoulders down away from the ears. Imaginary line right down the centre of the mat, so we want to avoid moving heavily side to side of that line. And from here, pelvis level and still, slight corset. Breathing out to slide away arm and opposite leg, and then just float. Don't go too high, touch it back down, slide it back in. Make sure hand comes back beneath the shoulder, knee comes back beneath the hip, and in, and again. So once more, we're looking for that length to the back of the neck. We're looking for that easy, soft curve to the low back. Slightly engage those abdominals as a corset. Little lift of pelvic floor. Looking to work into the back of the shoulders. We lift that arm up only to parallel to the floor, no higher than that. Sliding that leg away, only parallel to the floor, no higher than that. Noticing that pressure in the wrists. Do rest out if you need to at any point, but remember that pressure in the wrists is an important component of strengthening around the wrists. Finding that little bit of balance. Working with the breath. Breathing out as you slide away, breathing in as you return. Let's just do 1 more on each side. Breathing out, maintaining length back of the neck, stillness of the pelvis. In as you return, last time. And then just taking the weight off the wrist. If it works for you to sit your weight all the way back, you can do. That doesn't work for you, a little modification. Again, I can't really do that. I tend to drop onto one knee and just let those wrists rest. And you might even want to just take a moment or 2 with the forehead down to stretch that low back. And then bring yourself back up. So there you go. Your first strong in 6 or 7 for September. So do that, see how you get on with that. Do drop me a message if you need to know anything or if you need anything explaining, and keep a lookout for the next one. There will be many of these throughout the whole month. Speak to you soon, take care.